All right, well, day 3 of my chassis build. I mean, it's not like I spent like 8 or 6 hours each time, but in between me working and everything else, today I had the day off though, so that's nice. So we're gonna finish up this chassis build and get it test run, see how she does, see if everything's working right, and maybe get started on the shell a little bit too. Okay, so this chassis is done. This isn't on here right now because I'm still going through testing period. I went through a lot of issues. Mounting the electronic speed control was a lot of fun. I had to wedge it at an angle inside here and zip tie the living crap out of it. I even have zip ties on the bottom, keeping all those zip ties together. That's where I need to go in order to get my on and off switch right there. And for the cables for the motor to be just right. I mounted the receiver right here. I was going to put a waterproof servo box, but it's not going to fit if I want to put on this beauty thing right here. I'm not going to mess with it right now. When I put it all together, I put it and it dropped to the ground and it stayed. And that's because I got these extra upgraded shocks for it, but the spring is really soft for the rear end, and because of the cantilever, what's it? Maybe not cantilever is the word, but basically these they needed more resistance. So you can see I have the gold ones on there. They're kind of cheesy looking now. At least this is kind of the same, matches it a little bit. I have, if you look closely, I have both springs in there, a wider cup, and the spacer to hold this spring in place. Then I also had to back these screws off right here a little bit because that's the binding cup that holds this whole arm in here, and that was too tight, and so it wasn't swinging very well. Now, if I compare this to my lunchbox, right now I don't know if I'm supposed to feel that this is supposed to spin the other way. Maybe because it's so tight, I'm hoping that the binding inside there is all right. Now, if I go like this, I do feel some resistance. I mean, you don't even see these things spinning around at all. But they're just there to protect. So I see these things maybe wearing out eventually, but hopefully they're all right inside there. The battery, put a little piece of foam on it also. I put a piece of Velcro straight down the center because it's so small that it's just gonna hop around and bounce around inside this battery cavity right here. I mean, there's nothing holding it in there. It has to be a big battery in order to fit. And that's just, you know, once we get this in here, I don't want him to be bothering with this port getting underneath and dragging around, because if any of these wires get ruined, this battery's ruined. So I want it to be, I put some Velcro on the bottom and I attach it to the Velcro down below. And then I'm gonna make a little strap right here, hopefully. Something that'll just like kind of keep it in place. And we're about to take it for a test run and see how it does. Cross our fingers. All right, put a little stunt top on it. See how she does. A reversed steering. What up? Please don't mind the charger in the background. So I did a run, and the battery ran out pretty fast. I'm feeling that there's a lot of resistance. I did only run it from a storage charge, but it should have ran a lot longer, even on a storage charge. I'm thinking that if you watch this as it spins, that rubber's supposed to spin with it, and it's not. And I'm wondering if it's binding up inside that corner and in that corner, and it's causing the whole dog bone system to have issues. So even though it looks nice and it keeps the dirt out, I'm gonna cut it off. I'm gonna cut this fancy stuff off because I think it's binding up the rear end. It's causing me issues. It should be spinning as the wheel's spinning, and it's not. So the whole drive shaft is spinning around inside there without, so I mean that's a lot of resistance, I think. So I'm gonna see what happens. Look. There we go. That's a lot less resistance. The left side isn't binding because I'm spinning the right. I mean, it still has dang near positive rear end. If I spin it fast, it stops spinning. But at least when I spin it medium, well, medium, my hand spinning it. But I can get the ball diff to start spinning in the opposite direction without starting to spin the motor. So it was definitely binding up in that cup inside there. Hopefully that'll give me a longer battery. If I'm charging a battery all the way to its brim balanced charge, you know, we'll go from there. See how long it runs. Oh my gosh, guys. So the last video, I did a little test run. I don't know how much of a crop died out, but I had the typical Blackfoot tires on it that are hard as heck, and the truck stood tall and it looked really cool. It was super top heavy, and it was flipping over on a dime. I mean, everything it did. Oh, I turned to the right, I flipped. Oh, I turned left and I flipped. And I removed the covers for the drive shafts on the back, and that was binding, and so I got a lot more free play out of that. Charged the whole battery and got about the right amount of life I need out of it. But the number one thing I did besides that is I put Midnight Pumpkin tires on these rims. I had to shorten the little what's it called, the spacer on the steering arms up inside here. You can't see it right there, but anyways, so here, take a look at those. The only thing, so then I was like, as I was driving, it's so stable now, and its center of gravity is just dropped by maybe, like, I don't know, maybe an inch or a half inch, but it was enough to make this truck a completely different truck. And I know that I saw that on Valone's Hobbies. That's a channel you guys might want to check out. He put he said put Midnight Pumpkin tires on it, and boy was he right. And I even seen some Midnight Pumpkin tires that are lunchbox tires that have the spikes in them available on eBay too. And so I was gonna buy them from Amazon, and because I'd seen them there, and then they said no longer available. And so I was like, no, because you can't just fit the other rims on here. You got to put it on these rims, so you need the tires by themselves. Fortunately, I found some on eBay and I ordered those. These are gonna go on this one right now. So just when I said that everything's, I was like, I think it's ready. It's ready for the top. It's ready to move on. I could probably do the top now, but as soon as I did that, I flipped over, and when I flipped, it ripped one of the dog bones out in the back. And I know that AMPRO Engineering offers the full rear end suspension upgrade. I didn't think I was gonna need it, but if I'm passing this on to someone else, I don't want to pass it on to them and then them have to keep fishing their fingers in for that. And I'll tell you what, I've gone crazy over losing dog bones. Fortunately, these ones are still connected, and that's a nice little kit. And I even seen on Amazon they have a kit that has, you know, it is the same kit that comes on this truck. And it would be nice to have a set of or 3 sets. That way I could put those on the Kong head. But anyways, enough said on that. This truck is going to wait for the AMPRO Engineering rear end. And so this project will be on hold for a minute. I might be able to do the top, but it's still going to take a minute for all the 3D printed stuff to get here. But it's got to be done. It's got to be done. All right. They're just going to change the shocks to be up straight instead of cantilevered like they are and everything. It's going to change a lot more. And I've already gained so much stability in this truck with the Midnight Pumpkin tires. I strongly suggest to anybody that drives a Blackfoot to throw Midnight Pumpkin tires on there. Anyways, with that, I'm going to let you guys go for tonight. I'm done. I'm going to mull over what I'm going to do with the body and get some parts ordered.